you said, you've been locked up for a minute.
Yeah,
What are you
a
locked up
long.
for?
In
If
fact,
if
not
a
a
nigga
minute,
able to ask?
hours, years, calendars since
Yeah.
'89. Yeah.
Like what got you there? If I'm allowed to ask.
Yeah, you allowed to ask. It's like this, bro. When I be telling my story, I try not to have people to feel sorry for me. At the moment, I know a lot of us say, yeah, we in for something we didn't do, but this case, somebody did do it. I'm just one that's actually suffering the consequences of somebody losing their life in the gang lifestyle. And I also look at one thing about life. We got to think about duality in life. Duality is about positives and negatives, right and wrongs, et cetera, right? I contribute to the gang lifestyle in the 80s. I was a little youngster in the 80s. I contribute to this lifestyle. So despite who did this that I'm in here for, being that I contribute to this, eventually you will get caught up in something. So I want your viewers to really understand what I mean by this. If you contribute to something, you might then do this, but you might get caught up in somebody else's twist. But keep in mind, you contribute to this. So eventually, the way the laws of attraction work, you will eventually fall into something that you wish you would have never fell into, right? So, yes, I contribute to the lifestyle. So I didn't do the shooting. So when I was convicted back in, I came to jail in '89 when I was 16. I got convicted when I was 17. They sentenced me to life to 30 years to life in prison. Like I said, I'm going on 35 years now. I'm actually 51 years old now. I was 16 when I came. Imagine your 16-year-old child gets snatched from you, and he's been gone from 16, all the rest of your teens, then your 20s, then your 30s, then all your 40s. I am 51 years old now.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. Jay Bird, I
Right,
want to add. A lot of people been pushing this free Jay Burton movement, man.
right,
Uh,
right, right,
uh, uh,
right.
I lately I seen WAKA FLOCKA pushing the movement, man.
Lose to my
Man,
boy WAKA FLOCKA.
man, tell me how you linked up with WAKA FLOCKA, man.
Well, first of all, it starts to go back to my boy Joseph P. Langdon. That's my code. That's my road dog. He did 22 years. He got out, been out about 3 years, and he been helping me basically get my hashtag Free J Burton movement out there. So I have to salute him. If he's in the audience, you can bring him up. He can also tell you how this whole thing with WAKA FLOCKA came out. Came about with Joseph, me and Joseph and a couple of more comrades, females and males around the nation. We was like, we had a meeting. I said, man, it's time for us to bring us all together some kind of way. So we got the politicking with each other. Then we was like, okay, we're gonna start a thing called We Nation, WE. WE is an acronym for West Coast, and the E is for East Coast, and the nations for everything in between. So West Coast, East Coast, everything in between, which is the We Nations. So it's like the UN, the United Nations, but for the hood.
Yeah,
When we came up with that, Joseph introduced me to some of the East Coast, some of his East Coast homies, because Joseph from New York, and so he introduced me to some major factors out there. Salute to my boy KK, um, Moshe, and Mikey B. These are dudes that did 20, 25 years for life terms in New York. So when they got out, they started doing their thing. Mikey B, he kin to DJ Clue. KK, his first cousin is WAKA FLOCKA. His mother, KK mother and WAKA FLOCKA mother are sisters. So this is how I got into that family. When we created We Nation. And they also do a thing called We Locked In. So the thing is, when they brought me into, especially Joseph, I have to give him most props on that. When Joseph brought me to the East Coast and got to explain my story to them brothers over there, they was like, look, man, we like what you got going on. We see how you represent, and we want to get involved in your cause as well. And I always explain, so it's not just my cause. It's a lot of people that's a Jay Burton. Is a lot of us. And they like that. So we just start politicking and getting this shit, building this shit. And you got me here right now. You got people literally all over the world talking about Free J Burton. You got people in Africa talking about Free J Burton. You got people in Switzerland talking about Free J Burton. So I always let people know it's not about me. This is a big cause. It's bigger than me. And so I have to move a certain way on these prison yards so people can't contradict what I'm doing for the cause. You feel me? That's why you'll see times that I got, like my birthday just passed on the 8th of October. I had all the Bloods and Crips in my cell. We just rocking it out. And we went live with it. I had my boy Glasses Malone out of Watts. He just released the album. So I just had him on a live with me with Bloods and Crips. So my whole thing is that I know that I've been convicted for somebody else's murder, but I had to find myself within that darkness, right? When I found myself, I had to realize that I was put here for a reason. After all these years of being incarcerated, I am still here. I survived some of the most vicious attacks. When I was younger, I used to go on some of the coldest missions. But the thing is this, I'm still here. I'm not talking like I'm done lost my mind.